Hey everybody, so this is your bell ringer for today, Monday the 26th of October 2020. We're going to start it off with something easy. So we've got a subtraction problem here. We have 652,806 minus 631,766. So remember, we've got these all lined up perfectly. We just want to subtract straight down. And don't forget to borrow if you need to. Go ahead and give that a try and choose the correct answer if you can from the choices on your right. And we'll check your answer here in just a second. Okay, everyone. So let's give this one a shot. Let's go in red here so we can see where we're going. So remember, we're just going to subtract straight down to find the difference. So 6 minus 6 is nothing. That one's pretty easy. Now, we can't take 6 away from 0 in our next column, so we're going to need to steal one of these, 1 power of 10, and add it to this 0. So now it makes that a 10. 10 minus 6 is 4. 7 minus 7 now will give us 0. So we've got our first 3 digits done. 2 minus 1, of course, is 1. 5 minus 3 would give us 2. And 6 minus 6 would be 0. Now, I don't put that there. You can if you need to help keep you peace of mind and keep track of what you're doing. But I usually leave that one blank so I can read my number a little more easily. So your answer should be 21,040. Pretty straightforward on that. If you've got any questions, hit extra math because it is pretty spectacular at helping out through some of that basic addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Next one, find the factors of 48. We're actually going to be doing this a couple of times this week and looking at factors of numbers. I'm going to show you the rainbow method here in a second, but go ahead and try it out. If you can figure out all the factors of 48, choose them, type them into the to the spot in the document on the side there. We'll check it here in just a second. All right, so factors of 48. Well, we use the rainbow method here. 1 and 48, of course, are both factors of 48. That's the easiest set we've got, but we'll go ahead and do our little rainbow. All right, now we have, we'll put a little comma here too. Of course, because this is an even number, we know it's multiple of 2, and it would be 2 times 24. So there's our next set of numbers, and they go together. All right. 3 is actually a multiple of 48, because this is 48. We could think of it as 30 plus 18, and that would be 3 and 6, or 10 and 6. So 3 would be a multiple of 48, and so would 16. If we keep going, because 2 is a multiple of 48, 4 is a good guess as a multiple of 48, and it is actually a multiple. It's 4 times 12. Oh, we forgot to connect 3 and 16 and 4 and 12 now. We have to get a little lower on our rainbow here. 5 is not a factor of 48. 6, however, is. That is 6 times 8 will give you 48. 5 is not a multiple of 48. Let's see. 7 is not a multiple of 48 because 7 times 6 is 42. And of course, when we get to the next number, we are back up to 8, so that will be the end of our multiples because we've met in the middle here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 14, 24, or sorry, 16, 24, and 48 would be your factors of 48. Again, make sure you are using this rainbow method. We'll actually use that a couple more times this week. You'll need to do it specifically. Got any questions on that? Please make sure you give your teacher a call just so they can walk you through. All right, next one. Find the quotient. You've got two fractions here that you're dividing. So 6/8 divided by 2/6. Go ahead and give that a try. Choose your answer from the ones on the side, and we'll check it here in just a moment. All right, I'm going to go back to red because I think it's easiest to see. All right, so whenever we divide fractions, we're going to keep, we're going to change, and we're going to flip. Talked about this a few times. So we'll keep our first fraction the same. 6/8 will stay the same. We'll keep him the way he is. We're going to change our symbol from division to multiplication. We're going to do a new operation, and then we're going to flip our second fraction. So 2/6, we're going to flip that to 6/2, or 6 halves. And now once we've done the keep, the change, and the flip, we are just going to multiply straight across because it's multiplication now. So 6 times 6, of course, our numerators. We get 36 from our new numerator. And our denominators, 8 times 2 would be 16. Now, there's a couple different ways you can simplify this fraction. We do want to simplify it. So I can either simplify out first, or I can take my whole numbers out first and then do that. But because those are kind of big, I'm going to go ahead and just divide. Now, I happen to know off the top of my head I can divide these by 2. That would give me 8, and that would make this 18 up top, but I can actually divide those both by 2 again. So I'm going to divide by 4 altogether. I actually know my multiples of 4, and I know that 16 divided by 4 is 4, and 36 divided by 4 is 9. It's 9 times 4 is 36. And ladies and gents, now we can divide this out. 9 would go into 4 goes into 9 2 times, so I can take 2 whole groups of 4 out, and I'll have 1 left over. So 2 1/4 is our simplified fraction form of the answer. If you got any questions on that, especially simplifying, please make sure you're talking to your teacher. This is one you will need to be able to do as we go forward. All right, next one. We're almost done here, guys and gals. Find the product. 78 3/10 times 45/100. Now, you've got decimals here. As you multiply, remember our trick with decimals. We're just going to count up how many are in our question, how many digits are to the right of a decimal point, and that's how many we should have in our answer. Go ahead and give it a shot, and we'll check it together here in just a moment. All right, peoples. So I've got 78 3/10. I'm going to rewrite this without the 0, because the 0 is just going to be wasting space right now. So I'm going to take this 45/100. I'll still keep my decimal in front so I remember it's there, but I'm not going to worry about that 0. Now I have my numbers lined up. I'm going to forget about my decimals for a few minutes, and I'm going to multiply this just like regular. So I'll start with my 1 spot, which is the 5 down here, and on my bottom set of the factors, and 5 times 3. That would give me 15. Carry the 1 up. 5 times 8 is 40, plus 1 gives me 41. Do that, carry the 4. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 4 more gives me 38. Sorry, 39. And there we go. That's my first set of numbers to deal with. Now I need to move on to my 4. Now remember, we're going to pretend like this is a whole number and not a decimal. So we'll pretend this is 40, and when we deal with any power of 10, we're going to add the 0 in to keep the space. Now I can deal with this 40 like it is a regular 4. So 4 times 3 will give us 12. Put the 2 down and carry the 1 up. 4 times 8 is 32, plus 1 is 33. Carry the 3 over. And then 7 times 4 is 28, plus 3 more would give me 31. Now I'm going to add these guys up. So I've got 5, a 3, 9 plus 3 is 12. Carry my 1 over. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus another 3 gives me 5, and my 3 over here by itself. Now, looking at my question, I have 1, 2, 3 digits to the right of a decimal point, so we're going to make that a copy in my answer. So I need 1, 2, 3 digits here to the right of my decimal point. So I've got 35 and 235 thousandths. Now, does this answer make sense? Well, yes, it does, because this number 45 hundredths is very close to 50 hundredths, which would be 1/2. So if I take 1/2 of something around 70, I should get something around 35, and that is my answer. 35 and 235 thousandths. That means this answer is reasonable, and that is actually the correct answer. All right, let's try the next one. We are almost done here, folks. So close. This is it. So find the quotient. Now this is decimal division. This is going to be a little tricky as well. Just remember the trick for creating a whole number as your divisor. Go ahead and give this a try, and we'll check it out here in just a second. All right, because this is so scary, I'm going to move into blue because, well, red with division of decimals just seems mean. So I've got 1 4/10 as my divisor, and my dividend is going to be 7 868 thousandths. Okay, first thing we need to do, looking at this guy here, we need a whole number out here in the front. You can have a whole number in your dividend, or sorry, decimal in your dividend, but you may not have one in your divisor. We need to make our divisor a whole number. So we're going to play with powers of 10. I can multiply this by 1 power of 10 and move my decimal point to the right, as long as I do the same thing in my question, or to my dividend over here. So if I move my decimal point 1 spot to the right, he now lives right here. So here, between my 8 and my 6, is where my decimal point is going to live in my answer. Now that I have done that, I've done it to both sides, so I can get rid of this and just work through like this is a normal division problem now. My decimal point should stay in the right spot. So I just need to figure out now how many times 14 can go into 78. All right, so I think I'm going to guess here. We're just guessing. This is between, if I think of this as a one, not so much as a, I forgot to get rid of him. Not so much as a 1.4. Now I'm thinking this is 14 into 78. I'm going to guess this is going to be between somewhere around 7, 2, and 7. I'm going to guess 5. That's right square in the middle. Let's give that a shot and see if that works. So 4 times 5 would give me 20. Carry my 2 over. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 more gives me 7. Hey, there we go. That looks pretty good. So 78 minus 70. 8 minus 0 is 8. 7 minus 7 is nothing. That is definitely less than 14, so we are good to go on that step. Next thing we do, drop our next digit down. Now I've got 86. So I need to figure out how many times 14 can go into 86. It's going to be, see, if this was 20, it would go a little over 4 times, and 1, of course, would go, well, between 8 and 9 times. So let's pick something in between. How about 6? I'm going to guess with a 6. So 6 times 4 is going to be 24. Carry my 2 over. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 more gives me 8. Hey, that was a lucky guess. 80, so 6 minus 4 would give me 2, and 8 minus 8 gives me nothing left over. So last but not least, we'll drop our last digit down and see if we can finish up our problem without having to take decimals into infinity over here. So 14 into 28, I actually know this one. Off the top of my head, it's going to be 2 times, because 2 times 4 is 8, and 2 times 1 is 2. And I get a remainder of 0. So our answer would be 5 62 hundredths. And again, we're talking about taking 1.5 of something right around 8. 1.5 of exactly 8 would be 6, and this number is awfully close to 6. So this is a reasonable answer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for your bell ringer for today. If you got any questions on those, please talk to your teacher and have them walk you through whatever you've got questions on. The next thing you're going to be doing is heading on down and watching a video along with some note taking in order to get a little further in our understanding of not only integers and where they fall and how to order them, but also our understanding of absolute value today. So go ahead, click on the next link on your lesson page and check out the video and notes for today. Thanks, guys.